Good morning, children. Today we are going to see the next topic, dioxygen. Dioxygen, O2. Now let me see first of all preparation methods. Two methods we see, one is laboratory method, other is industrial method. In laboratory method, we can prepare by using the potassium chlorate, KClO3, potassium chlorate. Now this is on heating in the presence of manganese dioxide. This is the catalyst, very important one. The catalyst we are using in this is manganese dioxide, very important one. Which catalyst is useful in this reaction? Multiple choice question they may give like this. MnO2, manganese dioxide, is a catalyst in which you are going to get O2 and KCl. Very simple to write. KCl, O3 will convert into O2. How many molecules are there here? How many atoms are there? 3. So put here what? 3 O2. Next, here 2 molecules are there in this one, 2 atoms are there, to write here 2 KClO3. Now it will be balanced, very simple. Thermal decomposition. Next is what? Thermal decomposition of oxides. That means on heating at high temperature, they undergo thermal decomposition. One convert into 2 molecules. Here on heating, what is happening here? Ag, silver oxide converting into silver plus oxygen. To balance this one, how many are there here? 2 are there. Here write down here what? Half oxygen. Otherwise you put here what? 2 moles here. How many? 2 to the 4. Put here 4. Here actually 1 oxygen molecule. Mercuric oxide, put here also what? 2 mercuric oxide, will convert into Hg and O2. Simple, undergo thermal decomposition. But here we don't get lead, instead we get lead oxide. Actually Pb3O4 is actually PbO plus PbO2. 2 moles you have to take it. So actually Pb3O4 on heating, what happened? Lead oxide will form. Here also you take 2 moles here. So here how many? 3 is the 6, you put here 6 moles here. Then 4 to the 8, 1 mole of oxygen we get here. PbO2 also will give lead oxide. Put here 2 moles here. Lead oxide is forming here. 2 moles are there. Here also 2 moles. There 1 oxygen molecule. And this also very important one reaction. Hydrogen peroxide on decomposition will give 2 moles of water and oxygen. So what is happening in this thermal decomposition? Oxides undergoing thermal decomposition. Potassium chlorate in presence of catalyst, oxides of silver, mercury, lead and hydrogen peroxide. On thermal decomposition, we are getting these reactions. These are very simple to balance reactions. Next, we will take industrial method, or to prepare industrial method. The first one will take electrolytic method. In electrolytic method, we will take water. Water undergo first of all what? H plus and OH minus. We will take H plus first. So, sorry, OH minus first, at where? Anode. At anode I am taking here OH minus. Now OH minus undergo reaction at anode. What type of reaction here? Oxidation reaction. Loss of how many electrons here? 4 electrons here. You got here O2 plus water. Next, from this H plus ions, they take 4 electrons, will convert into hydrogen gas. This generally we don't require because we are producing oxygen. So where we are getting oxygen? At anode. Oxidation takes place at anode, will give O2. Reduction takes place at where? Cathode, to give your hydrogen gas. This is a general method of industrial method. Next, economically we can get by air, because air contains what? Almost 21% of oxygen, remaining will be major nitrogen. So what we will do here? We take liquefaction of what? Air, in which what happen? Both nitrogen and oxygen will convert into liquid state, and that will be distilled. Isn't it? Fractional distillation. Here it is having 77 Kelvin temperature. It is what? 90 Kelvin temperature. We will convert readily into gas nature, whichever is having high boiling point. So it will convert into gas nature. It will remain as liquid when you do in fractional distillation method. This is the general method we use actually. Next, physical properties also we will see here. In the physical properties, generally oxygen is what? Colorless. does not have any odor, any smell, and also tasteless it is. Second thing, if you observe here, solubility, oxygen is slightly soluble in water. Why? Because water is polar in nature, whereas oxygen is actually non-polar, because we can't develop any charges in O2, but we can develop charges in water, positive charge and negative charge, but in O2 we can't develop any charge. That is the reason it is a non-polar. So that is the reason it is less soluble in the water. Because of this solubility, how much? 30 ml per 1 liter. 1 liter of water can contain how much amount of oxygen? 30 ml of oxygen we may contain in the water actually. This means there is a less solubility. Even though it is a less solubility, 30 ml per 1 liter of water, it is useful for sustaining of aquatic life in the water bodies. Not only that one, in water body, any organic matter is there that undergo decomposition. Any organic matter like leaves, anything, dead materials, everything will be decomposed because of the oxygen, presence of oxygen. That is because of what? This solubility of oxygen in the water actually. It's very important. What is the use of this solubility in water means? It can useful for sustaining of aquatic life and also what? Decomposition of what? Organic matter. Next, third one, we get 3 types of isotopes here. Atomic number will be 8 only, but what will be different isotope? Mass number will be different. One is having 16, 17, 18, in which atomic mass with 16 is highly stable and major abundant here, more abundant, almost 99.7% is O16. O17 will be very less percentage, only 0.037, and O18 is having 0.204%. This percentage is what? Very less. This one is what? More abundant is what? O16 and also stable. Next, when you observe the paramagnetic nature, what is the meaning of paramagnetic nature? Attracting the magnetic field. Now, when you observe here, oxygen is having one unpaired electron. The reason here what? Oxygen having what? Unpaired electron. Unpaired electron. Where? In pi star orbitals. These pi star orbitals you have in the chemical bonding. In the chemical bonding, what happened? Already we discussed about this one. Why O2 is paramagnetic? In chemical bonding, we have taken molecular orbital theory. In molecular orbital theory, we have drawn some diagrams in which pi star orbitals, when you observe here, they will have some unpaired electrons like this. In pi star orbitals, they will have unpaired orbitals. Because of unpaired electrons, they are exhibiting what? Para. If they ask question, why oxygen is paramagnetic in nature? The reason is very simple. In oxygen, according to molecular orbital theory, there is unpaired electron in the pi star orbitals. In anti-bonding, unpaired electrons are present. Therefore, that is paramagnetic nature. Next, coming to chemical reactions here. When you observe the chemical reactions here, generally oxygen does not undergo any chemical reactions at normal conditions, at room temperature. Why? Because when you observe, this is the bond energy. To break these 2 bonds, one sigma bond and one pi bond, how much energy is required here? Large amount, 493 kilojoules per mole. 1 mole of oxygen requires around roughly 500 kilojoules per mole here. So that is not available in the normal temperature, room temperature. So that is the reason generally oxygen does not undergo at normal conditions, unless if the elements are active. If the elements are very active in nature, definitely they undergo the type of reactions. Let me see what are the chemical reactions are possible in these cases actually. Now, when you observe here what? With metals, first of all we see with metals. Metals are divided into 3 types. One is highly active, moderate active, very low active. Let me see.